You're watching the Tyres New Zealand Endurance Champs, proudly brought to you by Bailey's Caravans and Alliance Services.
I'm here with Johnny Reid and Sam Fillmore from International Motorsport. That was a cracking lap from you this morning, Johnny.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, the car was mega and the conditions were great and everything came together. I was fortunate with traffic and things like that and really able to extract from the car. So big thanks to IMS and Sam for the opportunity. But yeah, it's the big ones this afternoon. Qualifying's qualifying and racing's racing. So we've got a big 3 hours of racing ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. The big ones this afternoon. Sam, you were putting some awesome laps in yesterday, looking really consistent. You feeling pretty good for this afternoon?
Mate, I can't wait. And it's so neat to be to have Mr. Fawcett and Gaunty next to us. We've had some amazing racing this year. Like the last 3 races, we've been within a second of each other after 3 hours. So it's real neat to be racing, right next to these boys at the start of the race. So.
P2, Mr. Daniel Gaunt and Andrew Fawcett. How are you feeling for this afternoon?
We had a good lap there in quali. Didn't quite get it together, but car's good. Andrew's driving fantastic. I think might be a few pros starting, but I think we're going to be we'll be in the mix.
All right, well, we're here with Chris Vanderdrift, Ryan Wood and Scott O'Donnell, lining up here on, what are we, the third row of the grid. How are you guys feeling for this afternoon?
Yeah, pretty good. The weather looks nice, so nice and warm again, so it'll be good to race these fellas later on and see how we get on.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be interesting, something I haven't done before, so hopefully Scott gets the car going in the first stint and then I'll jump in and see how we track for the rest of the day.
So Scott, you're starting. How are you feeling for it?
Well, good. Get through the first corner drama and then go for a race. That's about the summary of how we play endurance.
Some high calibre, some very good outfits in the pit lane. The likes of International Motorsport, who have locked out the front row. Sam Fillmore, Johnny Reid, Andrew Fawcett and Dan Gaunt. Paul Pedersen, Ant Pedersen in that Mercedes. Jono Lester will join Hermana, and Tom Alexander, he'll partner with Francois Beziac. The Tyres New Zealand Endurance Championship. This is the big one.
Looks like Fillmore and the Audis drop back off the line. The McLaren of Fawcett to the lead. Great move by Glenn Smith, and the McLaren moves up into second place.
Cleanly through the bus stop. Good work into the forest for the first time.
The Audis actually dropped back into third there, so it's a McLaren 1-2 as it stands right now.
Wow,
Rusty going
big,
into the
impressive start.
Here's Chris Vanderdrift in the Nissan, inside line, under the bridge, and yes, he's got it, goes up into third. We ride now with the 27 Audi into the forest elbow. Vanderdrift up the inside of Glenn Smith into second. That's a great move.
Oh. Already, look at this. And contact. There's been contact between the GTR and the McLaren. Around goes the McLaren.
There's going to likely be some repercussions from that.
Trying, Ronan, to get that car out of the trap. That left rear tyre does look like it's
I don't think he's getting
down.
out of there, Rusty. I think he's actually beached.
Safety car lights are on.
Depending on how quickly they can get out of there, whether they end up going a lap down or not.
The lights out on the Subaru WRX Highlands safety car. The Nissan GTR will lead the field. Hamilton Asphalt's machine gets us underway and racing once again.
The Nissan's absolutely bolted there. He's got quite a significant lead over the McLaren already.
Word through from race control is that the Nissan GTR will get a drive-through penalty. Problem by the looks of it is the Allied Porsche into the lane.
There's a little bit of gravel coming off that car, so Scott might have had an off somewhere, and it looks like the front splitter might actually be missing off that car as well. So down the inside goes the MR Porsche.
That's our effective race lead, because obviously that drive-through penalty to be served, so still at 2 hours 51 to go.
Into the forest elbow goes Fillmore in the Audi, tight line, and moves past the McLaren. That's for second place.
I keep looking to the skies. I just hope that cloud cover holds off. Drive-through penalty into the lane, so he'll serve it this time. Drive-through penalty for the Chris Vanderdrift, Lance Hughes, Nissan GTR after that contact with the McLaren. So it drops the Nissan GTR down into 8th at the moment. Hermana Melmazak, Jono Lester, that combination in the 9-10, leading the way from Sam Fillmore and Johnny Reid, Paul Pedersen and Ant Pedersen in the top 3, but it is very close.
That's another factor today, is traffic's definitely going to play a part at different stages throughout the day.
Fillmore in a good battle for the lead here with
John O'Lester.
and the Porsche round the outside. That's brave there. No way around there. Terrific stuff going for the lead.
The 6th Porsche, the GT4 entry in the hands of Marco Giltrap and Simon Evans. They are 10th at the moment, Ronan. Good start for them.
And he's managed to do it. Wow, what a pass going down into turn 1.
He'll keep that pressure on the Pedersen entry. What a recovery from Chris van der Drift.
As we can see there, and oh, the speed difference he's carried, and he's going to be up the inside.
Lap car, the Alteza's there.
The Alteza's there in the way. Oh, but he's managed to get out of the way a little bit, and the Nissan's gone through. What a pass.
Great driving there. Van der Drift capitalising to take 3rd spot.
So the 620, which was running inside the top 10, has stopped. Porsche from the Audi, from the recovering Nissan GTR, and this will work a treat for Chris van der Drift and Lance Hughes. Probably someone has fired up the inside there. The Pedersen car's gone off.
Wow, he came over the hill incredibly fast. That could have been incredibly scary.
So we go racing once again. The John O'Lester
Porsche leads the Fillmore Audi as we go green. Van der Drift snatching 2nd, going into the bus stop there. Brave stuff.
Now we have a new race leader. Chris van der Drift has wrestled the lead in the Nissan GTR. We are being told that the Hermana Malmazak John O'Lester car will get a drive-through penalty, so that message should be conveyed. Van der Drift bolting, absolutely bolting. Already 5-second advantage and continuing to grow over the McLaren now in 2nd place. Marco Giltrap, Simon Evans now up to position 8. They're actually ahead of Steve Brooks and Bill Riding. They're doing a ripping job at the moment, and Fawcett and Gaunt are in the 10. 17 seconds the advantage for Chris van der Drift. Important piece of driving going on here for this McLaren. It's not for position on the road, but as this race shakes out, that'll be an important recovery, won't it?
Yeah, great that they've been able to make the progress to get back up to where they are, fighting with the guys in 2nd and 3rd. But they're just going to have to try and figure out a way somehow that they can to get back past that GTR to get back on the lead lap. Is the Alteza? The Alteza's got an issue. Sizable amount of smoke coming out the back of that car. Wheels sticking out of it on the left-hand side. Really disappointing for those guys, unfortunately.
37.1 seconds is the margin between 1st and 2nd now. So van der Drift, as we approach that 1 hour mark, has done a sensational job.
Everyone's just starting to spread out a little bit now and settle into rhythms. We'll wait and see who blinks first for the first round of the pit stops.
Looks like the Nissan blinks first. It takes the first stop from the lead of the race. Ronan, I think this is going to bring a lot of them into the lane now.
Bit of a tough start, but the boys delivered me just such a cool car to drive, and it was just so much fun. Mate, I've handed it over to the superstar. I've done my bit.
Really been feeling 100%, but you dug deep for that stint. Well done.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think I could get there, you know, with the 1 lap yesterday. I was pretty knackered and still feel a bit average this morning, but, you know, the car's such a fun thing to drive. It keeps you going. So, I was puffed at the end.
Did you tick the stint? Are you all done for now?
Yeah, all done. I think we had a tyre problem just on the change there. They had to come back in, so that would have hurt us. But
this weather's really coming on fast. We're starting to feel a few spits. I was just up the top there before, having a watch from up there, and the rain was starting to actually come even over there. So it's seeming quite patchy out there, Rusty, like just in different areas. It may be even a little bit wet out there. It'll be interesting to see what some of the drivers are saying. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next 20 or so minutes, because you can just even feel it in the air, can't you, that it's coming.
How far away before you'll be jumping behind the wheel of this machine?
I think it all depends on the weather, to be honest, Greg. It's looking pretty ominous over there, and I think if we can get the timing right and the rain comes and we can make our stops in the transition period, that would work really well.
You can see Owen Evans on filming duty at the front of the car, ensuring they've got appropriate evidence of how their pit stop has played out under the rules. Finished one car and another coming in. Marco gets out. Marco Giltrap gets out just as the McLaren comes in. Andrew Fawcett will jump out. We'll try and get a word with him in a moment. He's done a super job with his stint. How difficult was that stint just then?
Oh man, that was tough. We went a lap down early on. I got turned around and was in the lead once again by the same driver. Drives the Datsun. Pretty appalling really, but anyway. Look, we clawed back onto the lead lap. Look, I think we're back in the game.
So I did what I could. Yeah, sorry for Andrew, we're getting away, but yeah, I had nowhere to go either, and I was right beside him and the door was shut, so. We're just trying to do with our strategies, get us in front for Lance, so he can have a bit of a good buffer, and now it's starting to rain, so we're really close, I think, going to wets.
Oh, it's pretty hard in a TCR, you know, you're working all the way out of the corners, the bit of oversteer in the wheels, and it's really hard work. I was rapt to get here today. My father died during the week. He was going to be here today, so that's a wee race for him.
Kane Lawson about to jump behind the wheel, and we're at the midpoint of this, so they've obviously split it 50-50 in terms of driving responsibilities.
With those stops done, the Lance Hughes Nissan leads from Knighton in the Merc, with Reed in the Audi third, and a great recovery for the Fawcett Gaunt McLaren in fourth. So safety car for the 117 TCR of Hall and Scott. The leading Nissan, that's telling, comes into the lane for wets.
So the Nissan GTR comes in for those wet tyres, so they go to work down there at Hamilton Asphalt.
Pedersen leads from Leach on the restart. How's the volume of rain now, and everyone trying to predict which way to move? So Damon continues on slicks, but Pedersen in for wets. Pits are going to really light up here with lots of cars looking to change to wet tyres.
McLaren is in now for wet rubber as well by the looks of it. Oh, sideways out of the lane. 27 is in, so International Motorsport are busy here as well.
So let's just regather here after those stops for wets. The Reed Audi leads from the Hughes Nissan, with the Pedersen Merc now in third. Oh, that's big. The Hughes Nissan into the wall at the Forest Loop. Serious damage by the looks of it. The Nissan out of the race, and safety car deployed once again. Oh, and he's aquaplaned in the water. No! The Malmazac Porsche hits the tyres on the bridge, out of the race. Can you believe this? Red flag with the serious damage to that Porsche and the recovery of the Nissan going on. Race control rightly have moved here to stop the race.
Lance Hughes, bit of a tough one there, but what happened?
Oh, I just tipped it in, went through the bus stop, just did what I normally did. The car was, responding really well, and then it just stepped on me. And I sort of thought I had it, but then actually spun me into the grass. Once I was on the grass, I was gone.
Yeah, Martin Malmazac, that was really unfortunate. You guys were going so well for so long, and it's just one of those things, isn't it?
It is. Conditions changed dramatically. Had a few sketchy moments, but I was feeling really good. I was feeling really confident. The car was doing great, but somehow I touched the ripple on the side. I'm fine. That's the most important thing, but as you've seen, the car isn't. So the race is over for us, but we still have a car out there.
The officials, we're told, are going to reshuffle the cars back to the order they were one lap prior to the stoppage. Hopefully this rain clears and we can get underway once again. We breathe a sigh of relief after a 30-minute stoppage. We will go racing once again. We're going to get back underway under safety car. Continuing to circulate behind the safety car here, just hoping for a slight improvement in conditions so that race control will deem it safe enough to get the action properly underway again. This is going to be an exciting run to the flag here. Only 15 minutes on the clock. The Reed Audi leads from the Pedersen Mercedes, with Gaunt third, Leach fourth in the McLaren. Safety car's been called once again, with the Askew TCR beached at Forest Elbow. Got just 9 minutes remaining on the clock now. We'll restart with Reed holding the lead. The Reed Audi with a nice advantage, a little advantage over the Pedersen Mercedes, but Ant is not going to let this one get away. Great driving from both cars to stay on the road in these trying conditions. Last lap board, we believe, this time around. Would be hard to see that Merc in the rearview mirror. The Reed Audi leads, but Ant is not going to let him get away here. Pedersen to the inside, and they made contact. The Pedersen Merc has spun. He's in the trap, he's in the gravel, and I think he's stuck there. Can you believe this? And Race Control have decided to call it checkered flag a lap early. The Fillmore Reed Audi takes the Carter's Tyres service New Zealand endurance title. Smith and Leach, what a fight to get to second. Fawcett and Gaunt come from a lap down amazingly to take third.
Dan Gaunt, Andrew Fawcett, what a race. Andrew, you did a really good job, and Dan, obviously, there at the finish, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, what a comeback. We had to fight back all day. That's a good thing about these sort of races, 3-hour races. It does give you an opportunity to come back. You never give up, just keep fighting, and that's what we did. And being able to hand the car over to Dan and see what he did just now, it's pretty absolutely awesome. Yep.
It was tough, being out of sync in the early stage. This bloke here drove sensational, mega job by Andrew, and just really happy to be invited along to the races with him and enjoy them. We struggled there a bit in the end. I think the car's just too stiff for the wet, and I just had it, I had it working pretty hard, and I was terrified of it. So I'm not going to lie, happy to kind of take home third there.
I feel pretty happy. He did all the hard work. I just had to get through to an hour 10 without flaking out, so we got there and he got in the car and real fast.
Hats off really, go to Glenn. He's been feeling really unwell for the last 2 days, and even last night and yesterday we weren't even sure if we were going to start the race, but Glenn really battled on. He did on the lead laps, did everything that we needed, and it worked out good in the end.
Johnny Reid, Sam Fillmore, what a finish to the race there. How'd you feel out there?
Oh man, those last few laps, it was like, there was better places to be, that's for sure. But it was, out in front you've got an advantage, but with the wiper blade totally deteriorated, I think you can see it on the front windshield there, it's just completely fallen off, so we didn't have any vision. But I was lucky I was in the lead, I suppose. And yeah, with the pressure from Ant building from behind, I couldn't see the puddles or anything, so I was just really driving as clean as I could, and he was closing in, and then he had quite a late dive at the end there, and Ant and I go way back, and we were racing for the New Zealand Championship, so it's he was going hard, and I understand that.
Mate, I could hardly watch. I was holding my breath, but I knew Johnny would do a great job. He's a sensational driver, and mate, it's just so good to have that win. It means so much to us and the whole IMS team.
All right, we are just about out of time here. We want to say a huge thank you to all of our sponsors who have made this possible today, particularly to Gary Carter and all of the Carter's Tyres service team for their immense support of motorsport over a very long time. We're exceptionally grateful. And a big shout out and thank you to all of the officials and marshals who stuck it out in these conditions to ensure we could finish what was a very memorable Carter's Tyres New Zealand Endurance Championship. On behalf of Ronan and all the team, I'm Greg Rust. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.